Hello, hello. Welcome to Dropping into Happiness. I am Rachel.
And I'm Maggie.
Welcome, welcome. So, if you are new to this podcast, we would like to say welcome and hello. And it's nice to meet you. Whether you are watching us in person or just listening to us on any podcast, it's nice to have you here. So quick intro. Maggie and I are on a wellness journey. If you want to know a little bit more about us, you can go back to episode 1 where we really kind of dive into who we are, what we've done. We've both lost just over 100 pounds. She's still going. I'm on maintenance. And you're all caught up. So one of the things that we wanted to do with our podcast, however, is talk to you weekly about things that have been helpful for us, things that have been a struggle for us, how we've planned through things, because, neither one of us are nutritionists. We're not personal trainers. We are very normal people who did quite extraordinary things. So this week, we want to talk about how do we handle cravings? Because let's face it, they will come. They're going to hit you no matter how well you're doing. The cravings will get you. Like the cravings are going to get you. Cravings are going to get you. We need to start. We need to make that a thing now. The cravings are going to get you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I see a future duet in the future. A future duet in the future. That was redundant.
Yeah, like just and like forewarning, there will probably be many more little singing things throughout the course of this podcast.
You never know. You never know.
Oh yes. So cravings. Is there anything specific that you feel like you notice that you crave,
Maggie? Fast food.
Like anything in particular, like a certain location, like I just have to have that
Taco Bell.
Really?
Yes, Taco Bell, Culver's, which is like cheeseburgers. If y'all don't have that on yours,
I know we don't have it on the West Coast, but I lived in Texas and we had Culver's in Texas.
Culver's, French fry. I mean, I don't know. Whatever speaks to me.
I'm a pizza girl.
Oh,
like
pizza.
Every so often, I cannot take it. I will absolutely have to have some pizza.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Pizza.
And it's funny, like, for those that don't know, Maggie and I are both on WW. And with WW, I still have my pizza. Like, I still count it. I can still work it into my week. I remember one time we were having it, though, and my son looked at me, my 16-year-old, and he's like, "Are you allowed to have it?" I was like, excuse me. Yes, I am. Thank you very much. I have the points for it.
Yeah. The big thing.
I will make sure I have some points for pizza on the weekend.
The mantra that we have on WW is nothing is off the table. Nothing is off the table. And another one is you can have anything, maybe just not everything every week.
Yeah.
So that's something I have to remind myself of.
I like that one too. I know, but like coming off of, we're in January now. I'm coming off of the holiday season. It's regardless how much you try, sweets are going to come into our life a little bit more than usual during the holiday season. People gift you things, or you're baking them for others, and then you want to sample them. And man, Sugar gets into my system. Like when I can successfully get sugar out of my.
Sorry, I'm just like, what do I crave? Oreos.
Oh my God, I can't have Oreos.
Yeah, me neither.
I can't have just one.
No.
I know, and it's what's funny is I've had, because for those that don't know, Maggie and I are also coaches with WW. I had somebody tell me one day in a workshop, "Oh, I'm just so weak. I can't keep those things in my house." And I always remind people that is a strength. Do you realize that when you recognize something that is a trigger for you, something that just you end up making, like you said, an impulsive decision, or we eat too many, and you instinctively know that, and you deliberately not have that within your reach or in your house. That's a strength. Mm-hmm. That is wise. That is strong. That is a strength. That is not a weakness, because I promise you, every single person on the planet has a trigger food that they can't turn down, or they can't say no to, or they can't have just one.
For me, it's the portioning it out and thinking of like, okay, this is the portion that's worth it for me. For things that come in like big boxes or sleeves of things, that's just a lot harder for me. So I say no in the grocery store, so I don't have to say no a million times at home. But I do, like, if the feeling of Oreos just like overtakes me, like it's just like I must have Oreos. For me to feel like this journey is sustainable, I'm like, okay, you've been thinking about Oreos for 4 days straight. Go to the gas station, get like a single serving
Oh yeah, the
of
little
the
ones.
Oreos, have your moment, track it, and then move on. Like, I had to do the same thing with Cheez-Its. I realized that with boxes of Cheez-Its, I have no boundaries, but the little package, the little single servings, I can have my
Yeah.
4 points of Cheez-Its and it's done. So
I could Jesus, I love
I
me
could
some
just
cheese.
the box.
At my heaviest, I kid you not, I used to take a box of Cheez-Its and a container of cream cheese, and I would scoop cream cheese with my, oh yes. So then I realized I need a bigger Cheez-It. So then I got like the Cheez-It big ones because they made better scoopers. Oh, I don't even know how many points that would be. It was a lot though, I'm sure it was.
We've all had a high point snack accident in our life. It's happened.
Well, no, but like I was saying, so sugar, like if I can successfully get sugar out of my system, I'm usually pretty solid. But coming out of the holidays, I'm still in the evenings. Because for those people that don't realize, for one thing, sleep. Sleep is very important. And if you're not getting enough sleep and you're not recharging your battery enough in the evenings, your body will crave sweets. Because think about when you charge your phone at night. If you go throughout the day and you don't have enough juice, you plug it back in to recharge it. Well, that's what's happening with our body. If you're not getting enough sleep halfway through the day, you need a recharge and a reboost. And what you tend to go for to give you that boost is something with sugar, because that gives you that kind of instant jolt, even though it kind of makes you crash later. So I know I sleep well. That's something I've never really had a problem with. I can get in my, 7 to 9 hours. But I got to do something to kind of start kicking my sugar a little more. So I just like, cause I'll be having a fantastic day. I'll be doing really good. I'll be eating, my veggies and drinking my water. And then at 7 o'clock, I'm like, what sounds great? A Hostess big cupcake, maybe 2 of them after I've had like a fantastic day. Yeah. So, yeah. And my husband always wants those in the house, cause I have a husband and 2 teenagers who are not on plan. So we always have their kind of snacks in the house. So, yeah, I got to work that either into my day or
find an alternative.
Figure out how to avoid it.
Yeah, I was thinking like we say in WW work, with your tendencies, not against your tendencies. And so if like for me, and especially at the beginning of my journey and when I had more points to work with, I carved out a significant part of my budget for nighttime dessert. And it wasn't like the Blizzard, or if y'all don't know what a Dairy Queen Blizzard is, I'm not saying you need to go out and try one, but they're pretty good, but they're crazy in points. So I'm not saying like I was carving out room for that in my day, but like having a low point little desserts on hand, like the sugar-free Jello, like chocolate puddings, or the Fiber One
those
brownies.
Are good.
Oh, and I would take the pudding and then I would crumble a Fiber One brownie over top, and I'd throw a little bit of Ready Whip or Cool Whip, and it was like a 4-point-ish dessert that felt so decadent and voluminous, and that just kind of helped me feel like, okay, this is sustainable because I'm getting, or like the WW giant fudge bars you can get in the freezer section a lot of stores.
Yeah.
Those are 4 points, or Yasso bars. Like, just, I feel like I have to have something like that on hand at all times in my house, because then if I have a specific sweet treat craving, then it's like, well, I have something here that I know I can easily fit into my points, and it's not this big battle.
I always have the WW mini bars on hand, and they have one that's called a triple chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
It's like chocolate cookie with chocolate mousse dipped in chocolate. One of my favorites. But another one that WW has, do you ever get the like the chocolate cake that like you cook in a mug?
Yes,
like,
the mug cakes. Yes,
I
those
love
are good.
that. It was technically it's 3 points, but like right after it's done in the microwave, I take 1 dark chocolate Hershey's Kiss and I squish it in the middle, and then I just shut the microwave again and I just let it sit there and get soft, and it's kind of like a chocolate lava cake, and it's 4 points.
Ooh, that's like a pro tip. That is a pro tip. I love that. So yeah.
And every so often I find like I got more more points. I'm putting 2 Hershey's Kisses in here
Yeah.
today.
I feel like with cravings in general, it's just important to, one, decide what's worth it for you. So,
Yeah.
like, if you want to follow through with the actual Oreos or the actual whatever it is, the pizza, getting the takeout, it's like setting the budget and deciding the boundary for that, and then knowing that you have a plan, you're more likely to follow through with it. Or it's finding the low point alternative for that thing. So that's like, oh, it's very easy. Like making pizza at home, the 2-ingredient dough, or like for me, I do like
Yes.
English muffin pizzas. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very manageable in the points, but like I'm still getting that pizza vibe. So
Oh,
doing
yeah.
things like
See, but
that.
like I said, I have teenagers and a husband. And so, especially if it's the day that I know we're going to have pizza, because pizza can be kind of high in points for me.
Mhm.
So I tend to, just in general, I tend to have a very low point breakfast, a very low point lunch. My snacks are almost always 0 point foods because I don't know if, when the day is going to come that they're like, can we have pizza for dinner instead?
Mhm.
And I don't want to already be like totally over on my points. But one of the words that I love most about kind of what we're talking about is balance.
Yep.
Like, I mean, we talked about it in December with the members actually about finding balance. And that's just, I said that probably at the very beginning of every single workshop, is balance is my absolute favorite word when it comes to our journey. Because like you said, we can have Oreos if we want to, but if we know that, having an entire container in the house is going to be
Challenging.
a challenge, yeah, get the little small individual one. Just once, just get the one, and we can still have that, because finding that sustainability, because one of the things I do love about WW is I don't ever feel like I can't have something,
Mm-hmm.
but like you said, finding something that, home studio, finding something that, is worth it, is worth those points.
Yeah.
Because like in the very beginning of my journey, I cannot tell you how many sodas I used to drink. I used to probably wake up with one, and then I'd have one at lunch, and I'd have one at dinner. And then I started WW, and I scanned it, and I was like, this is 9 points for one soda?
Yeah.
And that just was not, I mean, like the WW has never said, you are not allowed to have that.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't worth the points to me. So I haven't had a regular soda in almost 2 years. I just don't.
Yeah, one thing that I used to eat all the time, and I have not worked it into my plan, is donuts. I used to have donuts like almost every Saturday, but the points on donuts aren't too crazy depending upon the donut. But even like a basic Krispy Kreme glaze, 8 points. I'm thinking, oh, that's not terrible, but then I'm hungry like in 20 minutes. So I'm like, that was a waste of 8 points. And so, yeah, like donuts, things like donuts, I just don't even think much about anymore. It's kind of interesting. But like something like Oreos will like catch me off guard, and I'm thinking about
I was going to say that about the donuts. Like oh my, like even just when it comes to like lunches and breakfasts, and I have noticed that when I have more fiber, and I know this is funny, like my kids are starting to, like, I don't ever say like, oh, I want you to eat an apple. I'll tell them, can you have more fiber? They just know now. Because if I have something that's not fibrous for breakfast, holy cow, am I starving by like 11 a.m. And I'm like, this is not ideal. Or the same thing with lunch. One day I had just like a little side salad, like the little prepackaged ones, and not the lunch that I usually pack, which has, a lot of greens, and I have calcium, and I have fiber. And I was like, oh, it's a salad. By like 3:00, I was absolutely dying. So yeah, same thing. Like with the donuts, I'm like, okay, first of all, are the points worth it? Second of all, I'm going to have to eat something also after this in order to get me through to lunch. Yeah. So unless I plan it around with a lot of like a lot of fruit or a lot, something else that's going to really keep me sustainable, that's the only way I feel like I you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have that challenge throughout the day. I just don't.
I feel like it's definitely a learning curve, and one, deciding what's worth it for you. And then two, like, because if you've ever been on a diet, and for those that aren't watching, I'm putting it in air quotes, it's that you tell yourself, like, I cannot have X and lose weight. Like, I cannot have this and be healthy. So no ice cream, no ice cream, no ice cream, no Oreos, no Oreos. And like, the more you tell yourself no, I don't know about anybody else out there, but then I'm like, yes, Yes, like it's not worth being skinny to me to just have to say no over and over and over again. So it's like I'll tell
Yeah.
myself like, okay, if like the Taco Bell craving just hits and this is when I'm really locked in and being successful. I'm not saying I'm always perfect and do this, but thinking about, okay, let me look at my points tomorrow because on WW our points refresh anew, and if you're calorie counting, same thing, you know. So it's like looking at the next day, oh, I can work Taco Bell in my day tomorrow. And then I'm not
Yeah.
feeling so much like, because I told myself like absolutely not. And then the tomorrow may come and I'm like, I don't really want Taco Bell anymore. The craving passed. But
True.
then it just helps me feel more sustainable. Or it helps the lifestyle feel more sustainable when we can kind of work those things in. So,
Yeah.
and your cravings will, the more you lock into your journey and your regularly scheduled programming are those healthy choices that make you feel good and you're being really intentional about planning certain things or desserts and everything, it gets easier and there are less cravings that seem to overtake you. I don't know about if you feel that same way, Rachel, but like, I just feel like
Oh, yeah.
the wall to wall, like, decision moments are fewer and further
Yeah.
between because we're just so used to our healthy habits once you get
Well,
going.
and you know what's funny is I think that what some people tend to crave and not think about is bread.
Oh
And it's
gosh.
so funny when people know that I've lost over 100 pounds. And I've had somebody ask me one time, do you eat a salad every day? I was like, honey, I can't even tell you the last time I had a salad. Salads are just not my jam. Like I will every so great often, like really love me a taco salad, but salads aren't really my jam.
Mhm.
And I remember when I first started my journey, I was working at the radio station and my breakfast, I used to make like little breakfast bentos because I just wanted to like grab it and go. And so I always had a hard boiled egg. I had 2 ounces of hummus. I would take this pita and I would cut it into wedges and I'd have
So
3 little
fun.
wedges. I had 3 wedges. I'd have a side of grapes. I feel like I had one more thing, but it was such a great little breakfast. I loved it. And I remember somebody going, you really think you're going to lose weight? You're starting your day with bread. I was like, yeah, like this is within my day. Like this is within my points.
Yeah.
Because I love hummus. And like, so I said, I would get the pitas and I would cut it in half. And then that half, I would cut that into wedges. And so it felt like little,
Felt
like,
like
oh my
more
gosh, it
and
was so
yeah.
yummy.
This is the thing like
Yeah.
Rachel and I want to be clear about is that there's no singular food that makes you gain weight. Or there's
Yeah.
no singular food that you cannot have unless you've been like instructed by a doctor to avoid like folks who are living with diabetes, obviously they have to pay attention to carbs more because of sugar and everything like that. But like unless you've been instructed to by a doctor, there's no specific things that you have to give up entirely for you to lose weight.
Yeah.
Um, it's just like Rachel said, the word balance in terms of working it into our overall week or our overall day, and then feeling good about that intentional choice. Because I don't know about you, Rachel, but like planned intentional Oreos or pizza feels a lot
Oh,
better
yes.
than pizza or Oreos that caught us off guard and that we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
like plan or spend the budget for. So
Oh, yeah.
thinking,
I tell members that too.
yeah,
Like if there's something very specific that you want to have and you crave every week, well then maybe say, okay, well on Fridays I'm gonna have, like my Oreos and my milk with my evening whatever. And then all week you can look forward to it, like, oh, I get Oreos on
yeah,
Friday. And it's such a special treat now.
mhm,
Like you said, instead of something that caught us off guard, and then we're like, oh, I did not want to use those points. You know it's coming. You can schedule to have it in there. It doesn't feel like oh, I failed at anything, because you don't. There is no pass or fail when it comes to our food.
mhm.
There are certain things that we shouldn't eat as much, and there's certain things that we should eat a lot of. I'm like, and you know what's funny? As I've gone along with my journey with WW, just the way that WW kind of guides us in the direction of the healthier foods. I always tell people, like, more and more I'm seeing the food pyramid from when you were a kid, like in my mind, how on the bottom is like all of our 0 point foods, and then as you go higher, like up to like the refined sugars and stuff, I'm like it's exactly kind of what we do, but we have a point value system for it that makes it easier for us to kind of understand kind of where we should pull back and where we should increase. And gosh, it's just created such a different feel for food. And it's like I said, my first 6 months, I super focused on just what I was eating. I said this in the last podcast. I really, really focused the first 6 months of my final journey on just what I was eating. I just wanted to get very comfortable with what I was eating. And I am very comfortable. Like I have such a different relationship with food now, the way that I see food, the way that I react to food. It doesn't, this is going to sound funny, but it doesn't scare me anymore. I don't know if anybody has ever, in the past, I used to have like a fear, like, oh, I can't. I shouldn't do that. Or you'd feel bad if you finally did give into that pizza, be like, oh, I can't believe I did that. I do not have a fear of food anymore, in any way, shape, or form. And I know there are people who still have that fear because I see them every day in workshops, and I truly, truly hope they can get to that place too. But man, I don't fear the cravings anymore. I know, because like you said, we understand how to work them into our week and into our day, and sometimes those ones that will come out of nowhere. But it's just that relationship with food now is totally different.
I feel like the more that we make those intentional choices and enjoy those things and build the trust with the program, then the easier it is to do it. Like, I'll never forget the first week I joined WW, I had cheesecake at Cheesecake Factory. I had half a slice because I worked the points, and if you've ever looked up the points for Cheesecake Factory, hoo-wee. But I lost like 6 pounds my first week of joining WW, and I was like, I got off the scale, I was like, I can eat cheesecake and lose weight. What?
Yeah.
So then, you're able to kind of work things into your plate, and you don't have as many cravings because you're still eating foods that you actually like and enjoy. So, yeah.
I've heard so many people tell me, I feel like I'm still eating everything that I like to eat, but I'm losing weight. I don't understand. Because, they're looking at their portions and they're adding more veggies and fruits, but they're still enjoying, their Burger King or their grilled chicken sandwich or their French fries here and there. But just finding that balance and still giving into the cravings, but in a more controlled way. Yeah. Can absolutely do it for you. All right, guys. Well, it is that time for our star goal and recommendation. So if you are new to our podcast, every week, Maggie and I will give you our personal star goal, which is a goal that is specific, truly doable, has an action, and it's relevant. And then we have a recommendation for usually sometimes it's according to the topic, sometimes it's not, but a recommendation nonetheless that we would like to recommend to you, something that has been beneficial for us. So my star goal this week, like I said, coming out of the holiday season, going into January, I'm still kind of getting sugar out of my system. And so my star goal this week is to do the Take 5 technique. So if anybody doesn't know what the Take 5 technique is. Like I had mentioned, in the evenings, like usually about 7:30, for some crazy reason, I want a cupcake or some cookies. And the Take 5 technique is once you recognize that craving, take 5 minutes, go for a walk, read a book, turn on the TV, call your mom. Call Maggie. Just do something for 5 minutes. Like,
everyone just starts calling me. Literally, just do anything except
it's happening. Yes, and give yourself that 5 minutes, and then even set a timer if you want to. And then after that 5 minutes is up, reevaluate. Do I really still want that cupcake? Did I really need that cupcake? Was that a sugar craving or was that a boredom craving? What was that craving? So that's my star goal for this week is to acknowledge, recognize, and take 5 when I have my cravings in the evenings. And then my recommendation this week, when it comes to snacking and cravings and, getting in that little sweet tooth. Actually, WW has these really great little like powders, and I got them, my first ones, when I got the popcorn kit. But like they have another one that's new out, and it's a little chocolate powder. So for those WW peeps out there, it's a 0 point little chocolate powder poof. And oh my gosh, on strawberries and bananas, it's so decadent, and it just tastes like a dessert, and it's all 0 points. So I've been integrating that into my days as well. So it feels like I'm getting in my sweet treats, but not using the points. So yeah, that's my star goal and my recommendation.
Woo! My star goal is to pre-track one high point meal. I feel like when I was really rocking and rolling in my journey and feeling really locked in, I was doing that, being very intentional about my high point choices and just like working them specifically into the plan ahead of time. So I want to do that. And then speaking of WW shop recommendations, what I'm actually going to do is recommend the 52-week meal planner. It's actually yellow now in the WW shop, and you don't have to be a WW member to shop on the WW shop. I just want to make that clear. How many times can I say WW shop? But the 52-week planner is great. One, because you get to write in the dates. So if you're someone like me who's very hit or miss with your planning, you're not like bound to specific dates to where you feel like, oh, I got off and now there's no point in using this journal anymore. And you can track breakfast, lunch, Monday through Sunday. There's use it or lose it ingredients, make a big batch of this. So it just kind of helps you plan and be intentional with your choices and maybe like when you're going to squeeze your pizza in. There's also little stickers like budget friendly, quick to make, 0 smart points, now personal points, family fave, make it again, low points, and more little folders you can keep notes and stuff, and a whole part for shopping lists too. So
that's actually probably my favorite part. So when I have it open and I'm doing my meal list, I always open that last fold, which is your grocery list, and I can write in my grocery list as I'm writing out my meals, which is so nice. And it has it categorized kind of by the store, which is super easy if you're the kind of person that like walks through the store. But usually I do that, and then I go to my online and I just pop in everything and I order all my stuff, and then like usually Monday mornings after the gym, I swing by and I pick up my groceries. So
yes,
makes it so easy.
Make it easy.
I know. All right, guys. Well, the time has come. Thank you so much for dropping by, and we will see you next time.
Yes, have a magical day. Bye.